What's going on, YouTube? You already know who it is, man. This your boy Deshaun the Show, man. I'm checking in with another video. Yeah. Nah, what's up? What's up, y'all? Y'all know what's going on, man. In today's video, we're gonna talk about why did I quit Hub Group Trucking. We're gonna talk about why I quit Hub Group Trucking. That's what we're gonna talk about. Okay, so before we start this video, I'm not asking you to subscribe to my channel, but if you would subscribe to my channel, that would be nice. If you don't, then it's fine too. But anyway, we must go on with the video. So, the reason why I quit Hub Group Trucking is because it's not a bad company. Hub Group wasn't a bad company. It just, they were very, very unorganized. Like, they didn't have their ducks in a row. As far as like the planners planning the work and the dispatchers dispatching the loads and all that. Like, they had to get that in order, man. I just couldn't deal with that. But that's not the reason why I left Hub Group Trucking. I left because, for one, the principal thing is they was playing with that money. Don't play with my money, like, cause when you get to playing with my money, I'm just gonna cut you off. Like, you messing with my livelihood. So don't mess with my money. Don't play with my money. But the second key thing was the people, I guess the higher ups, I guess you can call it, they didn't know how to talk to people. And I'm one of them people that's big on respect. Like, you respect me. Well, I give you my respect first. I'm always gonna give my respect first. But it's like, whatever you do to me, I'm gonna do to you. If you disrespect me, I'm gonna disrespect you. If you try to hurt me, I'm gonna try to hurt you. It's just one of them type of things that, like, I'm one of them type of people. So don't dish out something that you can't take in return. That's all I'm saying. But that was the main reason why I left Hub Group. Because the two main reasons why. Because for one, it was playing with the money. For two, the higher ups, they didn't know how to talk to people. It's like, every time something went wrong with one of the loads or something like that, I send a message on the tablet, send it out to the higher ups, and they take like 15, 20, 30, maybe even an hour to get back at you. And yeah, it was just, I had a, like, when I first started Hub Group, it was like, it was a real good company, but I should have known. Like, I ignored the red flags. So I'm out of Nashville, Tennessee. Man, shout out to Nashville, Tennessee. But I'm out of Nashville, Tennessee. So we had a Hub Group Trucking right here in Nashville, Tennessee. This one of the red flags I'm telling y'all about. So we had a Nashville, not a Nashville, we had a Hub Group Trucking right here in Nashville. So when I talked to my recruiter when I was getting hired, while I was going through the process, he was out, the main office is out of Memphis, Tennessee. So I guess, like, this is what I'm guessing. I'm guessing because I had, well, I don't have, I have a 901 number. So I'm guessing that he was thinking I was in Memphis. So when I got hired, I did my drug test and everything. He told me, he said, hey, can you be in Memphis in 2 days for orientation? So I was like, yeah, I can be in Memphis in 2 days for orientation. Not thinking nothing about it. So I'm just thinking like, like some of them companies, they send you out of town for orientation. I'm thinking it was one of them. So the 2 days go by, I go to Memphis and everything. So the next day I go to the orientation. So when I get to the orientation, my supervisor, he over Memphis, Nashville, and he's over Alabama, all the locations, like Alabama, Nashville, and Memphis. Excuse me. So when I got down there to Memphis at that location, like he just happened to be there. So he was like, he came and talked to me, introduced himself and everything. So me and him, we got the rapping, and that's how it happened. Nah, but for real, like we started talking and everything. So he was like, "Where you from?" I was like, "I'm from Memphis, but I live in Nashville." He was like, "You live in Nashville?" He said, "Why you didn't just go to the hub group in Nashville for orientation?" I'm like, "Well, my recruiter told me that I had to come to Memphis for orientation." He was like, "Who is your He was like, "Who is your recruiter?" And I told him who my recruiter was. He was like, "Man," he was like, "this man done dropped the ball again." He said, he keep telling people from Nashville to come to orientation in Memphis. He was like, "Yeah, he keep dropping the ball." He was like, I'm about to get on the phone and chew him out like that because he know better for doing it." So I'm like, I was like, so the whole time it was a location in Nashville that I could have went to for orientation. And he was like, yeah. He said, that's the location where you gonna report to and dispatch from and everything. So I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, just a little miscommunication between everybody, right? He was like, yeah. He was like, that's all it was and everything. Hold on, let me turn this heat seat off because, man, it's burning my back up. Okay, so he was like, yeah, it was just some miscommunication and everything like that. So I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I get it. I'm like, I get it. So he was like, what he told me, he was like, man, I'ma just give you something up under the table, man. He was like, how long did it take you to get from Nashville to Memphis? I was like, man, probably about 2.5, 3 hours. I said. He was like, how much fuel? How many times did you have to fuel up? I was like, man, about twice. I was like, that was it, about twice. And he was like, how much did you spend and everything? And I was like, well, I put $30 in the tank. You know what I'm saying, $30. It lasts me all the way till I got to Memphis. I mean, not all the way till I got to Memphis, but I put $30. I put $30 in there, and when I got down like close by Memphis, I fueled up again. So and now I had spent like $50 on gas. So he was like, man, I'm gonna just give you 100, man. He was like, cause he was like, that was wrong of your recruiter telling you to come all the way to Memphis, knowing that we got a hub group right here in Nashville. So I'm like, yeah, I was like, I appreciate it. He was like, and he said, I'm gonna give you $100 under the table. And he was like, I'm gonna make sure it's on your paycheck when you get your paycheck. So I was like, cool, all right, bet. I ain't tripping. So, man, fast forward back to when I get back to Nashville, everything rolling and everything. I was like, okay. The second red flag was I had to train for like like 2 or 3 days since I was already experienced. Usually it's like a week or two, but I trained for like 2 or 3 days since I was already experienced. So the guy who was training me, the guy who was training me, he was like, yeah man, he was like, you pretty good man. He was like, I'm gonna go ahead and cut you loose and let you go on your own and everything. And I was like, that's cool, but I was like, man, I was like, I need to know where. Who is this calling me? Hold on. Yeah, so I was like, I need to know where all of the accounts, where all the accounts are. I need to know like all where all the accounts at. You know what I'm saying? Cause we had like in them 3 days we had probably only been to like 4 or 5 accounts, but they had like probably 12 to 15 accounts, and we only went to like a few of them. But me being a truck, I had my own GPS and everything. Why is she calling back? Yeah, crazy. So yeah, man, he cut me off and let me go on my own. So my first load, they dispatched me to Kentucky. I forgot what part of Kentucky it was, but they dispatched me to Kentucky. And me, it was my fault, but it was still a red flag though. So I ended up, we got a, we got a time clock. We got a time clock, not a time, well, we got a drive clock. That's what it's called, a drive clock. So it give us like, that's how we track our hours and everything. That's how we track our hours. So man, I hit a button. Like they give us like 14, like 11 hours to drive. So I ended up hitting a button on the clock, and it took my hours down to like 4 hours, and it took me 2 hours to get, like 2.5 hours to get to Kentucky from Tennessee. So once I got to Kentucky, I went to an Amazon. I went to an Amazon and I picked up a load, but you know, like once you take a 30-minute break, you get half of your hours back. But by me hitting the button that I hit, like out of 11 hours, it dropped me down to like 6 hours. So once I got to Kentucky, I was down to like probably like 3 hours, like 4 hours, something like that. So me sitting there, like once I got to Amazon, I dropped a load. I picked up a empty. Well, I had to drop a load and pick up another load, but they told me that the load wasn't ready. So I was like, okay. So man, I sat on the side of the entrance. I sat on the side of the entrance at Amazon to take my 30-minute break, thinking I was finna get my hours back. Man, my hours got all the way down to like 2 hours after I took my 30-minute break. My time did not reset whatsoever. It did not reset. I So the lady, it was like a security lady or whoever she was. She came out the gate on one of them little golf carts. She pulled up or whatever, and she was like, "Hey, you gonna have to move from right here." She was like, "You gonna have to move from right here because like you can't sit right here." I said, "I'm on my 30." I was like, "I'm on my 30-minute break." I was like, "I'm on my 30-minute break." I was like, "Man," I was like, "I get ready to move when I get finished." She was like, "Okay." She was like, "I'm gonna be back in 30 minutes." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She was like, "Well, if I come back in 30 minutes and you still here," she was like, "I'm gonna get a wrecker down here to tow you and everything." So I was like, "Yeah, I'll be gone in probably like 30 minutes or whatever." So man, it was a truck stop down the street where trucks can park it. So I hit dispatch up and told them like, "Hey, the load not ready and everything." And I was like, "Man, what do I need to do? Do I need to wait on it, or do I just need to head back, or is there another load in the area?" And she was like, "No, just," she was like, "just bobtail back." Bobtail is just the tractor without the trailer. That's what bobtail is. All right, so when I seen my hours, I was down to like an hour and like 36 minutes or something like that. All right, so I pulled down to the truck stop or whatnot, and I parked right there, and like I put the address in a GPS to get back to Nashville, and it told me that it was gonna be like 2.5, 3 hours to get back and everything. So I was like, damn, I said, I ain't even finna make it back tonight. So I hit after hours up and told them, I'm like, hey, I need to get back home, and I only got an hour and 36 minutes, and it's saying that I'm a, it's saying that I got a 3 hour drive, but I only got an hour and 36 minutes left on my drive clock and everything. And he was like, just go in the system and do the extension. He was like, it give you like 2 extra hours and 30 minutes or something like that. So I was like, okay. So he walked me through it, but I kept telling him, I'm like, oh yeah, it's not available. I'm like, it's not available. Then he was like, well, let me go in the system and see if I can do something to get you some more hours so you can get back. So he was like, oh, well, there's nothing I can do. He was like, you already done passed the mark or something. It was something like, you got to claim the extension hours like around a certain amount of time. So he was like, man, you just gonna have to stay where you at for the night and let your time reset. You gonna have to do your 10-hour reset, like wherever you at. So, like, luckily, I had a sleeper. A sleeper is the truck with the bed in it. So he was like, yeah, just wherever you at, just stay there until in the morning until your 10 hours reset. So I was like, man, I was like, can I just get a hotel or something like that? He was like, let me see what kind of hotels in the area. So he found the hotel in the area, and it was already like 2 in the morning. It was like 2 in the morning. So the man, he was like, let me find a hotel in the area. So he found one in the area. Uh, he was like, yeah. He was like, you can go check in. He was like, you can go check in at the hotel or whatnot. So I was like, okay. I was like, man, look, I only had a couple of dollars to my name until I got my first check from this place. So I asked the man, I was like, so how I'm supposed to get down there? I was like, will y'all pay for me a Uber down there? Or do I need to drive the truck down there? Like, what do I need to do? Man, the man told me, he was like, that part is not my problem. He was like, I did my part. I paid for the hotel. He said the company paid for the hotel. He was like, that's on your end for you to get down there to the hotel. Like, however you get down there. And like, I kind of felt offended by that. So I was like, oh, okay then. I was like, so that's what they doing. So you know what I did? I logged out the system that track your hours, your drive hours. I logged all the way out. I unlogged from the truck and everything. So he gave me the address to where the hotel was. It was like 2 miles down the road. So man, I crunked that truck up and I drove them 2 miles. There was another red flag when I got to the hotel. The guy told me, he was like, you can park your truck out on the back if you want to, or you can park out on the street if you want to. So I was like, okay. So the other red flag, the third red flag was the man said, oh, I don't have no hotels available right now. He was like, I have some tomorrow at like 2 p.m. I'm like, shit. I'm like, that's defeating the purpose. That's defeating the purpose, man. I'm like, I need a hotel tonight. My company, they said they already paid for the hotel and everything. He said they already paid for the hotel and everything. I was like, how did they pay for a hotel if you ain't have no rooms available and everything? So he was like, I just refund the money back to the company or whatever. So, man, I drove back down to the truck stop. I just parked right there. And, man, I called the same guy and told him what was going on. He was like, I called his number back. He didn't answer the phone. Somebody else answered the phone. So I was like, yeah. Like, that was on my first load. So I was like, that's a red flag. I had all these red flags and I ignored them. But I made some okay money with Hub Group. It just, when all the taxes and everything started getting taken out, I was like, yeah, this some warehouse money now. I can't do nothing with no warehouse money. Like, might as well go drive a forklift for the type of money that they pay you after the taxes and everything. Man, Hub Group would be a good company if they get rid of some of them higher ups with them smart mouths. Yeah. But I'm about to pull down the street, man, and give me something to eat, man. I'm about to go ahead and end this video. And I'll get back at y'all later, man. It's your boy Deshaun checking out with another video, man. Peace and blessings. Stay safe, stay dangerous. I'm out, man.